I stopped getting spiritual readings and my life completely changed. In this video, I'm going to share with you where I was at in the past in regards to getting spiritual readings, such as intuitive readings or tea leaf readings, astrology readings, etc., etc. And I'm going to share with you the transformation that happened within when I decided to move away from outsourcing my intuition. So let's dive in. In the past, I definitely approached spiritual readings as a type of entertainment. I would say it was a lot of fun to go to a psychic with my friends or book an intuitive reading and ask questions about my future and just expand my realm of possibilities around what was possible for me. And it was also really fun naturally when there were synchronicities that would happen, such as an intuitive telling me that I was going to move to Bali one day, and then one day finding myself living in Bali. So there was a big entertainment piece, but one thing that I could not separate was the fact that no matter what they would say, some things just felt like they stuck to me. Like I decided that that was true, or at times when I heard something that I didn't really like, I would have a bit of a challenging time reframing that and coming back to my own power. So in the past, I definitely approached these types of readings as a type of validation, somebody to tell me that the future was going to be okay, that the uncertainty around the unknown was going to make sense, that I was still going to travel, my business was going to be successful, I would find love one day, etc., etc. It was almost like instead of going inside and integrating these types of feelings for myself, I was looking for somebody to tell me on the external so that I could give myself permission to decide that yes, that was going to happen for me. So as you can see, there was this seeking validation from a complete stranger instead of understanding that all answers lie within and deciding to build that strength within myself. I also noticed that outsourcing the intuition was a big theme. It was basically saying to myself, I can't trust the dreams, the desires on my heart that they'll be made manifest. I need someone else to tell me that it's possible, such as writing a book or moving to a different country or my business being successful. And in that outsourcing of my intuition, if we think about that action of needing someone else to tell me that it's going to work out, that it's going to be okay, I completely missed out or was missing out on an opportunity to give that to myself. And the most powerful thing that we can do as human beings is whatever it is that we're seeking from the external is to integrate those needs and desires within ourselves, such as if we want somebody to let us know that the future is going to be okay, that the unknown, the uncertainty that we all experience as human beings, it's going to work out. The way that we can build strength within ourselves is to start to tell ourselves that story of no matter what happens, I've got me. No matter what happens, I can trust this outcome. No matter what, I know that I'll be okay and I'll make it through. When we begin to do that work within ourselves, we become unstoppable. And what I can say from my personal journey is limiting myself and like shifting myself away from somebody who liked to get these readings, a mix of entertainment, but also a mix of outsourcing intuition, seeking validation, and needing someone to tell me that it was going to be okay. I started giving that to myself. And this next level of fearlessness has integrated inside of me. Not to say I never have fears or that sometimes the uncertainty doesn't create some funky energy inside of me, but I've started to embrace the unknown to a completely new level. There have been definitely times in my life where I can say that I leaned very heavily on YouTube tarot readers that I've never met in my life. Give me the Sagittarius astrology update to start to plant seeds for myself, such as love is coming or success is coming or abundance is coming in all these forms. Instead of writing my own story and saying that, yes, abundance, love, success, all this stuff is going to happen for you, because in my heart, I know that it is. And as I stopped outsourcing my intuition, as I stopped putting importance and significance on these readings, what I can say is that my own intuition, my own inner knower has gotten much stronger. As in, it's like, I trust me, I've got me, and I'm solid in that. Inner fortress energy is what I like to call it, is that I have strengthened my level of discernment, and that continues to strengthen as I move through life. But the biggest blessing is that no matter what, I know that I'm going to be okay. And On this channel, I know in the past I've definitely shared that I love astrology, that I love, the spiritual, mystical experiences of life. So it's not to say that in the future I'm never going to sit down at a tea leaf reader with a group of friends and decide to get our tea leaves read, or, if I'm traveling, getting my Turkish coffee read, et cetera, et cetera. I find joy in these things, but what I can say is that after taking a serious break in my life from readings, as I used to be somebody who would get them at least every 6 months, some type of reading. And as I have distanced myself from that, I've integrated this strength where I know that I will not be swayed by what someone else says. I created a podcast in the past on Note to Self, which I'll link down below, which is all about what to do if somebody says something in a reading that doesn't sit right with you. And I'll share that down below if any of you have had an experience where you've had a spiritual reading that didn't sit well with you and that kind of comes back to haunt you. Because this is something that I've actually worked with multiple clients through in their lives. So if you're somebody who's facing that experience, you're not alone. It's actually completely natural, right? Because when somebody else validates one of our worst fears, a stranger speaks to us about your worst fears, like you're going to lose everything, or you're not going to find love, or you're not going to be able to write that book that you want to write, whatever the story is. The way that I reframe that is, if it's triggering, that's an opportunity for you to set yourself free. Triggers are always opportunities for us to set ourselves free. So going to a reader and you're in a bit of a vulnerable state around a fear and they validate that, that's going to be a lot easier for you to hold on to for a longer period of time, whether you want to or not, because you were seeking that external validation instead of understanding again that you are the creator of your reality and you are the architect of your future. So anytime anything feels sticky, if you've ever got a reading in the past, or if you get a reading in the future and you're remembering this video, my divine reframe is that my guides, the universe source, is actually sending me that message. Like if they're saying, Zoe, you're not going to be able to go on that Egyptian Nile cruise that you've always wanted to go on. Let's say that was the story. And that would trigger me inside because that's a desire on my heart. One day I want to do the Egyptian Nile cruise. If they were to tell me that, I'd be like, no way. Now I can say, no way, I'm going on that cruise. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. But in the past, if I was seeking that confirmation from the external and somebody were to validate my fear that my desires were not going to be made manifest, I would then just decide. I started to reframe. That is my guides nudging me to integrate my own personal power and start claiming that even stronger. Refresh my vision board, refresh my goals, write it down, start scripting into it, start deciding that it is so. With that energy of deciding, cutting away the excess. The word decide, the Latin root of the word decide comes from dicere. I believe that's dicere. I might not be pronouncing it correctly. We all know that sometimes my pronunciation is not on point, but it basically comes from the root of this Latin word to cut away everything else. Decide, cut away everything else. When we can choose to be decisive and cut away the excess, cut away the doubts, cut away the fears, cut away the resistance, we become incredibly powerful. And again, this is one of the superpowers that came from me as I quit outsourcing my intuition, was that I decide, and that is so. I decide any fears, any lies, any excess, any contra energy does not affect me anymore. So I wanted to share this with you guys today because, again, like I said, it's a reflection I get from clients. They've had readings in the past, maybe years ago, that have still stuck with them in a certain way. Or you may be in a certain particular place where I was in the past, where I was consistently leaning on YouTube astrology readings or psychic readings, intuitive readings to tell me that the future was going to be okay. And let me tell you that some of my greatest dreams and desires have come true as I stopped outsourcing my intuition. One of them being like finding love and it being in a beautiful partnership. I have really enjoyed and embraced that unknown. I have loved the journey of not knowing when that was going to happen for me, right? The psychic readings told me in the past, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Then I'll be like, okay, I trust it's going to happen. But in my heart, I knew that when it was the right time, that would happen for me. And here I am in this beautiful reality where I'm so happy, I'm so content. I have no idea what the future holds, but I'm embracing the present moment more than ever before. And I don't need someone to tell me, yes, you're going to write that book. Yes, you're going to have a beautiful home one day, XYZ. It's like, I just know. I just know, and I choose to trust myself, and I choose to be the architect, the designer of my beautiful freedom-filled life. And ain't nobody gonna tell me otherwise. So I hope that you guys like this video today. And if you're ever interested in coaching or any of my courses or programs, they'll be linked down below. And I would absolutely love to work with you. Sending you a big hug, lots of love, and have a beautiful day. Bye.